personal privilege, please.
Please proceed, gentlemen.
Could I have some order, please, Mr. Speaker?
Please proceed, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to speak this afternoon about an event that took place in my district on Saturday evening. There was a shooting at the North Kansas City High School in North Kansas City in the 18th District. 2 people were injured. One is a student. The shooting took place at the end of a basketball game where many people were gathered to watch the local high schools play. There was also a debate tournament happening on that day. Schools are supposed to be a place where kids feel safe, and not just where kids feel safe, but where communities feel safe, where we can gather to watch a basketball game, see a play, to learn, to have meetings. They really should be a gathering place for our communities, and that sense of safety was taken away from my community on Saturday. I spent that evening at home. I had other things I could have been doing, but I was refreshing social media, calling, texting anyone I could possibly think of to try and see if I could figure out how many kids had been shot at my high school. And fortunately, there were no fatalities and the injuries were minimal. But I remember having a moment as I was sitting there and as I was gathering the facts, and I found out, victims 2 to 3, and I regret this thought very much, but I thought, is that all? Because these things happen so frequently in this country that I had a moment where I thought, only 2 to 3 people shot at my high school. That's it? Okay. But we can't feel that way. We can't become numb to things like this. I'm sure many of you remember just a few weeks ago we had another shooting at a public space at the Chiefs Super Bowl parade. You may have forgotten that happened because we're not talking about it anymore. The news cycle's moved on. This building's moved on. But if you don't recall, over 20 people were shot, half of them children. 1 person lost their life. And this is the only country, the only industrial country, the world leader, the only place where we have such frequent explosions of gun violence. We also have more guns than people. But of course, we're not allowed to even make the suggestion that there's a correlation there, because to do so is blasphemous. We don't think of guns in this country as weapons and tools, which they are. We give them a sort of sacred object status. We treat them with almost a religious reverence that says that we're not allowed to suggest that the amount of guns or lax gun laws contribute to violence. To do so is blasphemy, and it will bring down the wrath of our ancestors upon us. It will disturb their ghosts. But we know that's not true. We have the data. We have the evidence that shows that there are things that we can do in this country, in this state, to reduce gun violence. We can do it. And if you poll a cross-section of people across party lines, gun owners, non-gun owners, Republicans, Democrats, Independents, they agree that there are a lot of things that we can do that don't infringe on Second Amendment rights, that we can do to keep our communities safe. And the fact that we can't even...
Gentlemen, this is neither an introduction of special guest nor a point of personal privilege. Introduction of special